In Ukraine, shock and fear ripple through a nation at war. In broad daylight, a gunman strikes down one of its most polarising political figures. Andriy Parubiy, a former speaker, a fierce nationalist, a relentless critic of Volodymyr Zelensky, now gunned down in Lviv. Ukraine asks, who ordered the killing and why? A high-profile assassination has jolted Ukraine. Former parliamentary speaker Andriy Parubiy was shot dead in the western city of Lviv on August 30th, sparking a nationwide manhunt for his killer. The Prosecutor General's office confirmed that a gunman opened fire on the 54-year-old Parubiy around noon, killing him instantly before escaping. Law enforcement agencies swiftly sealed off parts of the city and began a search for the attacker. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky condemned the murder as a national tragedy.
Ukraine's Minister of Internal Affairs Ihor Klimenko and Prosecutor General Ruslan Kravchenko have just reported the first known circumstances of the horrendous murder in Lviv. Andriy Parubiy was killed. My condolences to his family and loved ones. All necessary forces and means are engaged in the investigation and search for the killer.
Local media reports suggested that the shooter was a food delivery courier who fired 8 shots at Parubiy before calmly placing the gun back into his delivery bag and fleeing on an electric bicycle. A photo of the suspect, dressed in a helmet and carrying a delivery backpack, quickly circulated online. The Lviv Regional Administration confirmed that Parubiy died before doctors could reach him. Lviv's mayor Andrii emphasized that the killing struck at the heart of national security.
This is a matter of security in a country at war, where, as we can see, there are no completely safe places.
For investigators, the critical questions remain unanswered. Who ordered the killing and what was the motive? Officials have stressed there is no immediate evidence linking the assassination to Russia's ongoing war in Ukraine, though the timing and symbolism of the attack in a wartime setting have heightened its political resonance. Andriy Parubiy's death comes against the backdrop of a complex and turbulent legacy. Born in 1971, he rose through Ukraine's post-Soviet transformation, hailed by some as a patriot, condemned by others as a hardline nationalist. In the 1990s, he co-founded the far-right Social National Party and later led the militant Patriot of Ukraine. Yet his defining moment came during the 2013 Euromaidan uprising, where he organised protests and commanded self-defence units, securing his place as a pivotal, though divisive figure in Ukraine's modern history. After the revolution, he was appointed Secretary of the National Security and Defence Council in 2014, a period marked by Russia's annexation of Crimea and the outbreak of war in eastern Ukraine. Later, from 2016 to 2019, he served as chairman of the Verkhovna Rada, the Ukrainian parliament, making him one of the most senior figures of the post-Maidan establishment. Yet his career was frequently marred by controversy. In 2018, during a televised debate, he remarked that Adolf Hitler was the greatest man who practiced direct democracy in the 1930s. The statement provoked outrage at home and abroad. Critics accused him of glorifying fascism, while Kremlin-linked outlets amplified the remarks in international media. Parubiy later clarified that his intent had been the opposite, to warn how Hitler misused democratic procedures such as plebiscites to consolidate power. He was also accused by political opponents of involvement in the May 2014 Odessa trade union fire, in which dozens of anti-Maidan activists were killed. Despite these controversies, he remained a fixture in Ukrainian politics. After his tenure as speaker ended in 2019, Parubiy aligned with former President Petro Poroshenko's European Solidarity Party, positioning himself firmly in opposition to Zelensky's servant of the people majority. After stepping down as speaker in 2019, Andriy Parubiy became a sharp critic of Volodymyr Zelensky, accusing him of overreach and undermining post-Maidan institutions. He opposed what he viewed as threats to checks and balances, most recently condemning Zelensky's July 2025 bill placing NABU and SAPO under presidential influence. Parubiy argued it weakened anti-corruption independence, jeopardized EU accession prospects, and rallied supporters through protests and public statements across Ukraine. Internationally, Parubiy's name was often used in information wars. In 2018, French media and some MPs protested his visit to the National Assembly, branding him a neo-Nazi. Ukrainian media later identified that episode as part of wider Kremlin-linked efforts to undermine Kyiv's political establishment by weaponizing his far-right past. His sudden death in 2025 has once again put that contested legacy under scrutiny, both among Ukrainians who saw him as a defender of sovereignty and critics who regarded him as a deeply divisive figure. As news of his assassination spread, tributes poured in from across Ukraine's political spectrum. Many of his allies in parliament and government framed the killing as an attack not just on a man, but on the country itself. Former President Petro Poroshenko, under whose political bloc Parubiy served in recent years, issued a deeply personal tribute.
The killing of Parubiy is a shot fired at the heart of Ukraine. Andrii was a great man and a true friend. That is why they take revenge. That is what they are afraid of.
Foreign Minister Andrii Sybiha described him as a statesman whose role in defending Ukraine's sovereignty would not be forgotten.
A patriot and statesman who made an enormous contribution to the defense of Ukraine's freedom, independence, and sovereignty. He was a man who rightfully belongs in the history books.
Prime Minister Yulia Svyrydenko, too, paid tribute to his role in shaping Ukraine's modern statehood.
Parubiy always remained a patriot of Ukraine and made a great contribution to the formation of our state.
The circumstances of the killing remain murky. Ukrainian investigators have yet to identify the suspect beyond the delivery worker disguise, nor have they disclosed possible motives. Theories range from political retribution to personal grievance, though officials caution against premature conclusions. As the investigation unfolds, the assassination of a man once at the center of Ukraine's struggle for sovereignty is certain to cast a long shadow over a country still fighting for its survival.